The elite use taste as a metric to exclude you, at least according to French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu, who I introduced in my last video. He said your taste is not random. It's cultivated first from your family, schooling, upbringing, not just knowledge, but as comfort zones. How you joke or relax doing certain things. And the elite, he said, refine their taste as a form of capital that creates an invisible hierarchy, one of 4 types of capital the elite use to preserve their power. Economic capital, so money, assets. Social capital, who you know, who returns your call. Symbolic capital, titles, honors. And cultural capital, your literacy with art, wine, fashion, literature. Bourdieu said together they create a reinforcing ecosystem so that, for instance, economic capital buys you access to a club where you make friends, social capital, creating the cultural capital from what you do with those friends, sharing your tastes in restaurants, fashion, art, holidays. So when someone in that circle hires someone, the job stays in that circle, at least more likely, preserving symbolic capital. And those voices are then in positions of authority to perpetuate the cycle. Now, Bourdieu says a lot of this happens subconsciously, what he called habitus, a deep embodied sense of what feels normal or right. This is where Bourdieu adds an edge to the ideas of David Hume and Immanuel Kant, who also wrote about taste but deserve their own video. Follow for that one. With habitus, Bourdieu says even the most bleeding heart hippie lefty will reproduce these patterns, which is why, after the people's revolutions of Russia, Cuba, ironically France, the people at the top changed, but the same elite system of privilege remained. Now, if Bourdieu is right, then taste isn't something that we cultivate, it's something we inherit. And art isn't an invitation, it's a test. But is he right? I grew up with a lot of love, but none of those 4 types of capital. I remember the first time I was about to fly on a private jet. I took a selfie in front of it, and I noticed my host give me this kind but faintly patronizing look. This is new for him. I'd been rumbled. I was excited by something that was normal for her. I've now spent 30 years working with wealthy people, and while I've seen what Bourdieu is describing, I'm not convinced it's the whole story. For me, the most interesting point he makes is about cultural capital, or taste. And that takes us back to Hume and Kant in the next episode.